You aren't lazy and you don't lack willpower. Your brain is just performing a highly efficient survival tactic that happens to be ruining your life. Every time you start a new habit only to abandon it by week 2, you're not failing a character test. You're losing a neurochemical battle against a version of yourself that is hardwired to stay exactly the same. If you feel stuck or tired of starting over, you are far from alone. Most people are trapped in a cycle of once-in-a-while effort, rather than every single day consistency, and the reason is hidden deep within the architecture of your mind. To understand why you keep quitting, we have to look at the brutal truth of how your brain perceives change. Imagine a simple stick man standing at a crossroads in his mind. To his left is a massive 8-lane, perfectly paved highway that represents his current habits. The constant phone checking, the task switching, and the comfort of the familiar. To his right is a dark, overgrown jungle with no path at all, representing the new version of himself he wants to build, the one with unbreakable consistency and a sharper mind. Whenever our stickman tries to step into that jungle to start a new routine, his brain sets off an internal alarm. This is because your brain is a survival machine designed to conserve energy, and traveling on that paved highway of old habits costs almost nothing in terms of mental resources. But hacking through the jungle? That requires an immense amount of starting friction, which is why you find that starting is often the hardest part of any task. When you attempt to change everything at once, you trigger what we call brain burnout. You might feel highly motivated on day 1, but by day 4 the initial excitement has faded and the physical resistance of the jungle becomes overwhelming. This is the dip, the psychological hurdle where most people turn back to the highway because their brain is screaming that the effort isn't worth the reward. The brutal truth is that your brain doesn't want you to be successful. It wants you to be safe and efficient. It views your new 30-day dopamine detox, or your attempts to stop negative thoughts, as a threat to its established equilibrium. This is why you feel that intense productivity guilt when you try to rest, or why you find yourself mind-wandering every few minutes when you try to stay in the zone. You are fighting against years of neuroplasticity that have reinforced the old easy paths. However, the neuroscience of breaking bad habits shows us a different way forward. If our stickman wants to stop quitting, he has to stay trying to build a new highway overnight. Instead of bringing a bulldozer to the jungle, he needs to just lay one single brick every day. This is the power of tiny habits, actions so small that they don't trigger the brain's resistance alarm. When you commit to 30 tiny habits that rewire your brain, you are essentially paving that jungle path 1 inch at a time. If you want to build a sharper mind, you don't start with 3 hours of deep work. You start with 5 minutes of focus without checking your phone. If you want to reshape your brain for happiness, you don't wait for a major life event. You implement daily habits that train your mind to see the good. The reason most people fail is that they are looking for a massive breakthrough, but quiet wealth and mental clarity are built through habits that most people think are boring or normal. You might be doing things today, like quick phone checks that turn into hour-long sessions or switching tasks too often, that are slowly destroying your brain's ability to focus. These time leaks and focus breaks are the very things keeping you on the old highway. To stop the cycle of quitting, you must first survive the first 30 days of any new change. This is the period where your brain is most likely to rebel. During this time, you aren't just practicing a habit. You are literally reshaping the physical structure of your neurons through neuroplasticity. You are turning that thorny trail into a smooth road. Once the path is paved, the habit becomes autopilot, and you no longer need willpower to keep going. The transition from once in a while to every single day is the only way to build unbreakable consistency. Our stickman eventually realizes that the highway wasn't always there. He built it through repetition, even when he didn't feel like doing it. Consistency is the process of teaching your brain that the new way is now the safe way. If you find your brain slowing down by mid-afternoon, or if you struggle with the guilt of not being productive enough, it is a sign that your current mental daily structure needs a total reset. You cannot build a new life on a foundation of old destructive habits like poor sleep routines or excessive phone usage. You have to be willing to face the brutal truth about how you are spending your time and who you are living for. Stop waiting for the perfect time to start, because the friction will always be there at the beginning. Instead, choose one thing in your life to change in the next 24 hours, whether it's your sleep routine, your focus, or your phone usage, and commit to it with the understanding that it will feel difficult at first. That difficulty isn't a sign that you should quit. It's a sign that your brain is finally beginning to rewire itself. The insight you must take away is this: the dip is where the transformation happens. If you can stay consistent when the initial motivation disappears, you will eventually reach a point where your brain works for you, not against you. You don't need a miracle. You just need to keep laying your bricks until the jungle path becomes your new highway. If you are ready to stop starting over and finally build a mind that supports your success rather than sabotaging it, then it's time to get serious about your daily structure. This is how you rewire your mind and rebuild your life from the ground up. Take the first step today by identifying the one focus breaker that is holding you back and removing it. Your future self is waiting on the other side of that paved path, and they are counting on you to stay in the zone just a little bit longer than you did yesterday. Stay focused, stay consistent, and remember that wealth and happiness truly begin in the mind.